Hi, everybody. That's the Football Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, the Hut, and of course, please subscribe to the Football Hut and like this video. I'm trying to get to 300 subscribers, so if you're new to the channel and you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to talk about the Giants and the 49ers for this week. Do you know this is a Giants channel? I'm a Giants fan, believe it or not. This is from Giants.com. These are the things you're going to have to look for as we head into the game on Thursday night against the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, here we go. The Giants mounted the franchise's largest comeback in the Super Bowl era when they overcame a 21-point deficit to defeat the Arizona Cardinals 31-28 in Week 2. But Brian Daboll's team don't have much time to enjoy the victory. The team is staying in Arizona before traveling to San Francisco on Wednesday for their matchup against the 49ers on Thursday Night Football. The 49ers entered this week 2-0. Following their Week 1 win in Pittsburgh, they went into Los Angeles and defeated the Rams 30-23 this past Sunday. So this is the opening night for the Niners. This is going to be tough. Heading into Week 3, San Francisco ranks third in the NFL in both points scored and points allowed. They are one of the big teams in the NFC, favored to win the conference. Here are 5 storylines to follow in the Week 3 matchup. Keep the momentum going early. The Giants were outscored 60-0. The first 6 quarters of the 23 campaign is the worst start in the 99-year history of the New York Giants. With their backs against the wall, the Giants responded in a big way. The offense, led by quarterback Daniel Jones, scored in each of their next 5 possessions, including 4 touchdowns and the game-winning field goal. Meanwhile, the defense stepped up, limiting the Cardinals to a total of 48 yards and 0 points on their final 4 possessions. Okay, one thing about the Cardinals, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. So keep that in perspective. The Giants have compiled just 158 total yards and 0 points in the first half through Week 2. It's a problem. Against a team like the 49ers, that might not get the job done. San Francisco outscored Pittsburgh 20-7 in the first half of their Week 1 matchup. While the Rams were able to score 17 points in the first half on Sunday, the 49ers responded with 17 points of their own to go into halftime tied. The Giants will have to get to a faster start on Thursday than their first 2 games of the season. That's a big problem, a major problem. This is another tough test for Daniel Jones. The 5th-year quarterback rebounded in Week 2 with almost all of his production coming in the second half. After throwing for just 62 yards in the first 2 quarters, Jones became the first player in NFL history to throw for 250-plus yards, run for 50-plus, throw multiple touchdown passes, rush for a touchdown, and not turn the ball over in the second half of the game. He did turn the ball over in the first half, but it was a ball that bounced off of Saquon Barkley. That was the second week in a row that happened. For the second time in the first 3 weeks of the season, Jones will be faced with a tough challenge. The Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers boast 2 of the top defenses in the NFL. San Francisco ranked number 1 in both points and yards allowed in 2022 and is currently ranked number 3 in scoring so far this season. The 49ers are tied for 8th in the league with 6 sacks, while their 4 interceptions are the second most. However, they do rank 23rd in the league with their 247.5 passing yards allowed per game. I would mention that the Giants have a very young offensive line. I'll get into that. Number 3, O-line bounces back. Jones was sacked a league-high 7 times in the season opener, while Pro Football Focus had the offensive line down for 27 total pressures allowed. Against the Cardinals, Jones was sacked 3 times, while the offensive line surrendered just 8 total pressures. And the analytics show just how successful Jones can be when given time in the pocket. When not under pressure, he completed 73.3% of his passes for 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions for a passer rating of 125.1, according to Next Gen Stats. The Giants had a different combination of linemen up front on Sunday. 2nd-year All-Pro tackle Andrew Thomas missed the game due to a hamstring injury. It is unknown whether or not he will be able to play on Thursday, as he was projected as a limited participant in Monday's injury report. Filling in for Thomas at left tackle was Joshua Ezeudu, who, according to PFF, gave up just 1 total pressure against Arizona. I would mention that on the first play of the offense, he committed a penalty. Ben Brendelson started left guard before a concussion forced him out of the game, which led to Mark Lewinsky, who started week 1 at right guard, to enter the game. Lewinsky allowed only one pressure on 23 pass block snaps at left tackle. Brendelson was projected as a non-participant on Monday's injury report. John Michael Schmitz continued his solid play at center as PFF had the rookie down for just one total pressure allowed. Marcus McCutcheon saw his first NFL action at right guard, while Evan Neal surrendered just 2 total pressures on 45 pass block snaps in week 2. We mentioned with him that he had 2 penalties in the fourth quarter. It did not keep the Giants from scoring, but he has been an issue. So just keep that in mind. And with this defense, and this is a better defense than what the Cardinals had, they will keep pressuring him. Leading the 49ers in sacks through the first 2 weeks is second-year defensive end Drake Jackson, who's recorded 3 of the team's 6 sacks. Linebacker Fred Warner and defensive lineman Javon Hargrave have 1 sack apiece, while defensive lineman Kerry Hyder has San Francisco's final sack. However, you cannot discuss the 49ers pass rush without mentioning Nick Bosa, the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, who led the league in 18.5 sacks last season, as a team-high 4 quarterback hits. Now here's talking about the 49ers and really scouting. Selected with the 262nd and final pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, quarterback Brock Purdy has proven to be anything but irrelevant. At the end of his NFL career, off to a strong start last season, he has picked up where he left off. He has completed 66.7% of his passes for 426 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions for a passer rating of 102.9, adding an additional touchdown on the ground. Purdy, who completed over 71% of his passes in his final season at Iowa, also finished with a completion percentage of 67.1 last season. So that's interesting. In the passing game, San Francisco boasts one of the league's most talented wide receiver duos in Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, who have both caught 11 passes so far this year. Ayuk leads the team with 172 receiving yards, while Samuel is second with 118. But the former is projected as a non-participant on Monday's injury report. The 49ers also have one of the top ends in the NFL with George Kittle, who has 6 receptions for 49 yards this year. Outside of McCaffrey, only 4 49ers have registered a reception through the first 2 weeks. Jauan Jennings is the 4th. In this article, they discuss some players in the 49ers front 7 above, with Bosa, Warner, and Hargrave leading the way. But San Francisco's secondary is also filled with talented players, including safety Tanola Hufanga and cornerbacks Charvarius Ward, Montori, Leonore, and Isaiah Oliver, all of whom have recorded an interception this season. The 49ers run defense enters this matchup having allowed just 130 yards on the ground this season, 3rd best mark in the NFL. In addition to Hargrave, 6'7" defensive tackle Eric Armstead also starts in the middle of the 49ers defensive line. And finally, what's going on with Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley suffered an ankle injury, sprained ankle, when he was bent backwards on the defender late in Sunday's game and comeback. It remains to be seen how long Barkley will be sidelined. They said he might play on Sunday. He might, but this was diagnosed as a 3-week injury. So, but yesterday, on Tuesday, Brian Daboll said that the Giants feel that he might be ready for the game. Maybe. Now, if Barkley is unable to go, Matt Breida is likely to lead the backfield on Thursday. The 7-year veteran registered 54 rushing attempts for 220 yards and a touchdown, added 20 receptions for 118 yards last year. Gary Brightwell recorded 31 rush attempts for 141 yards and a score in 2022. While Eric Gray, a rookie 5th-round pick, rushed for 1,366 yards and 11 touchdowns in his final season at Oklahoma. The other player forced out of Sunday's game early was left guard Ben Brendelson, who suffered a concussion. Andrew Thomas missed the Week 2 matchup after hurting his hamstring in the season opener. Outside linebacker Azeez Ojulari suffered a hamstring injury of his own during practice last week and was sidelined for the game in Arizona. He was also limited on Monday, along with inside linebacker Micah McFadden and wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson. So we have a lot of stuff that's going to go into the game, obviously, and it's a short week. They're going to play Thursday night in San Francisco. This is a tough schedule the Giants have, I gotta say. So far, they're playing to what I thought they were going to play. They're 1-1 right now. From what I understand, they're a 10.5-point underdog in this game. So and this is a big task. This is one of the big teams in the NFL. So we will see. I know one thing: it's not going to be a situation where they're not going to play hard. Because when that second half started on Sunday, a totally different team, especially from the Daniel Jones standpoint. So let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Football Hut. Thank you, and I'll see you later.